Hello folks, and welcome to my third video on all about drug addiction. My name is Doug. I have cut this video 4 times. I've spent, I don't know, probably a good 2-3 hours just trying to make this video less than 10 minutes, and it's tougher than hell. I put about 8 hours into a web page that I created for you guys, and I'm doing it all for free. They put a link down there to PayPal. Please buy me a beer. If I put that link down there, would somebody please buy me a beer? Every video I've cut, it's been long. So let me get right into it. This is called the 45-day Benzo Taper plan, or protocol, whatever you want to call it. In approximately 45 days that you get a prescription for this program, you can be off benzos with zero withdrawal, zero craving, zero anxiety, zero fixation on I need my next dose, that kind of thing. I'm going to get right into this because I've just put way too much other information into my other videos. I'm going to make this very clear from the get-go. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a license to practice medicine. I was a nurse for 11 years. Though I don't have a nursing license anymore. I don't practice as a nurse, and none of the information that I'm giving you is information that you can go out and take care of yourself, self-medicate, or self-prescribe, or whatever. That's not what this is intended for. This is information that I'm sharing with you, that how I was able to end a 20-year addiction process to benzos. I was on Ativan at one time, 2 milligrams 3 times a day, Xanax 1 milligram every night, and then a couple other times Xanax, the continued release 2 and 3 milligrams, which knock you on your keister. And then the last dosing I was on was Klonopin 2 milligrams twice a day. Every time I put a video out, there's always these haters go, oh, that may work for drug dependent people, but for us truly addicted people, it's not going to work. You got to suffer. You got to go into withdrawals in order to get off this crap. And I'm going to call bullshit on that. That's what I think about that. Okay, I got that out of the way. I'm not a licensed anything. I've got a web page. I'm going to give you the address to go to. The web page is going to include a lot of information that I'm not including into this video. This will work for people who have a prescription for benzodiazepines such as Klonopin, Ativan, and Xanax. If you're on Valium, this protocol is not for you. I'm not going to get into the great details, but Valium is a different kind of monster. I was working as a nurse at a medical facility sometime back, and we had a little old lady, and she was on our urology unit, and she was having a lot of cognitive problems. And one of the doctors happened to notice that she had been on long-term Valium for a long time. Valium has got a mega long half-life. And because of its long half-life, if you incrementally up your doses, you create this virtual perfect storm of a drug that can just destroy your life. And this taper is not for Valium. I don't care what dose you're on, it's not for Valium. That is a different monster. Klonopin and Ativan and Xanax, these will work. If you're a drug abuser and you get your Klonopin, your Ativan, or your Xanax, or your Valium, or whatever form of benzos on the street, and you try to take this to your doctor and go, would you help me with this? Your doctor's probably going to say no. But if you are already seeing a physician and you present this information to him, at the bottom of this webpage, it's going to have a letter, and it's going to have prescribing information, how to prescribe it, and it's going to spell it out to him, how to write the prescription, the whole 9 yards. And he's going to be able to look at it in 2 minutes. He's going to be able to look at the piece of paper and go, we can do that, we can do that. Let me go ahead and get you set up, and let's get you started on this taper. Let's get right off into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the people who are able to withdraw from drugs. It's not the amount of time that you've been addicted. Some people will throw that out there. I'm a true addict. I've been doing this for 20 years, and you just simply can't do it. Those are the same kind of people who, in a recession, can't find a job. There's no jobs out there. I can't find a job, so I need to be on unemployment. I promise you, there's always somebody who wakes up early in the morning when there's no jobs, and they go out every damn day and they go looking for a job until they find a job. It may not be the dream job they wanted. It may not pay the pay that they need, but they'll take it because they're willing to put in the work to get a paycheck. If you're willing to put in the work to do this, which is very, very minimal, you can do it. I promise you that there is no withdrawal problems associated with this at all. Okay, it's going to take roughly 45 days. For some, it may be 45 days. Some, it may be 50. Some, it may be 55. It just depends on your makeup. And by that, I don't mean your body. I mean what's in between your ears right here. Really important when you start this. It would really be advantageous for you if you either start walking, riding a bicycle regularly, or go to the gym. I find that and I've worked in drug rehab facilities as a nurse before, and one of the greatest things in rehab facilities and mental institutions that we're taught to help patients is distraction therapy, either watching TV, playing an instrument, or listening to music, or talking, group therapy, anything to distract them away from what is eating at them. And when you're a drug addict, when you're focused on that next pill, that is a distraction. That is your fixation. You need to be distracted from that. This program is so easy that you're really not going to be fixated on your medicine that much. You're going to find out that it's just so smooth and easy sailing to do this. Okay, I'm going to jump right into it. If you're taking Ativan, Klonopin, or Xanax up to 4 milligrams a day in divided doses, this is for you. If you're on Valium, it's not for you. If you're a street drug user of Valium and all that other stuff, it's not for you. If you want to try it and take it to your prescriber, chances are he'll probably say no. Doctors are just shying away from writing prescriptions for controlled medications these days. They will more than likely send you to a drug rehab clinic. And if you go to a clinic, they're going to want you to do it their way or the highway. And that's what I've always found. And I have been to one inpatient treatment facility where I couldn't do their program. It was bullshit. Okay, this is going to be broken down into 9 cycles. Each cycle is 5 days. Every day, you're going to take a specific amount of Xanax 3 times a day, 7 hours apart. You need a calendar, or you need your smartphone, or you need a desktop planner, or one of these little planners or something like that. You need to stay on top of this. It's imperative that you take your medicine precisely the same time every day. Because what you want to do by doing that is you create a smooth plasma level, if you want to call it, of your metabolite, your benzodiazepine metabolite. If you're taking too much this day and then not enough the next day, it'll make detoxing difficult. So by taking your medicine every day at the same time, every 5 days, decreasing the same way, it's going to go smooth sailing for you. It will be smooth. Cycle 1. Before you get to cycle 1, at the end of this page, there's going to be a copy of this, put it in your text editor, and print. So you'll understand what I'm saying here when I start talking about these things. Your doctor is already going to have this prescription written out for you, but here's how the program starts. Cycle 1. Each cycle lasts for 5 days. You'll be taking Xanax, 0.25 milligrams, and nothing else. You won't be taking 0.5 milligrams or 0.75 milligrams or 1 milligrams of Xanax. We're not going to do that. To simplify the whole process, you're going to stick to 1 pill strength, which is 0.25 milligrams. Every time you get your prescription filled, it will contain only 0.25 milligrams. No Xanax bars, nothing else, just 0.25, and I'll explain. Cycle 1, 5 days. You take your medicine 7 days apart. Here's an example. 8 a.m., 3 p.m., 10 p.m. If you work the night shift, figure out your own schedule. If you work the evening shift, Figure out your own schedule. It's 7 hours apart. Stick to it. You'll start off as Xanax 0.25 milligrams, which is a quarter milligram tablet. You're going to take 4 tablets 3 times a day for 5 days, and then stop. Cycle 2, you're going to be taking Xanax 0.25 milligrams. Let me back up. You're going to be taking Xanax 0.875 milligrams. That is 3 times a day for 5 days. That comes to Xanax 3.5 tablets of the 0.25 tablets. So you're going to be taking Xanax 0.25 milligrams, 3.5 tablets a day. 5 days, then stop. Cycle 3, your dose is going to be 0.75 milligram, which is 3/4 of a milligram of Xanax. You're going to be taking 3.25 milligram tablets 3 times a day for 5 days, and then stop. Cycle 4, your dose is going to be 0.625 milligrams of Xanax. You're going to take 0.25 milligram tablets. You're going to take 2.5, 3 times a day, 5 days, then stop. Cycle 5, you'll be on 0.5 milligram of Xanax 3 times a day. You'll be taking 2.25 milligrams 3 times a day, 5 days, and then stop. Cycle 6, you'll be on 0.375 milligrams of Xanax 3 times a day for 5 days and stop. You're taking the 0.25 milligram tablets, 1.5 tablets 3 times a day times 5 days, then stop. Your next dose on your next cycle, cycle 7, you'll be taking a 0.25 milligram tablet of Xanax 3 times a day for 5 days, then stop. The 0.5 tablet is what you've been taking all along. Cycle 8, it's starting to be interesting. That 0.25 milligram tablet, which is only a 1/4 milligram tablet, you break it in half. You're going to take 0.125 milligram, which is a half tablet, 3 times a day, 5 days, and then stop. Cycle 9, this is where we throw the 3 times a day rule out. There's no scheduled dosing. You wake up in the morning, you take, and this is how it works. Listen carefully. I'm going to look at my time. That 0.25 milligram tablet you're taking now, that 0.25 milligram tablet that you split in half the previous cycle, all you're going to do now is take those half tablets you got left, and you're either going to get a pill splitter or you're going to get a razor blade. These Xanax tablets normally come in an oval shape, which makes them easy to break. But you can't break them any further than half by hand. You'll either need a pill splitter or you'll need a razor blade, and try to cut it as precisely in half as you possibly can. What you'll end up when you split it like that, and Xanax is kind of a soft powdered pill form that when you split it, it doesn't shred and splatter, or it doesn't split. It's not difficult to split. I've got medicine right now, a different type of medicine that I'm titrating off of, and one of them I cannot split it. Every time I put it in a pill splitter, it goes everywhere. With this, you'll split it in half, and what you're going to end up with is a 0.0625 milligram dose of Xanax, which is a microdose. A microdose. You'll take that when you wake up. You'll keep your doses. Let's say you've already got all your pills split up, and all you're going to do is keep those pills with you when you go to work, when you go shopping, when you go to the movies, when you go out. You're just going to keep it with you, and you're going to try not to think about it. You're no longer fixated on this anymore. You're to the point to where you have very, very, very little Xanax in your body right now. To be truthful, the previous dose that you was on, 0.125 milligrams, which is half of a 1/4 of a milligram, is a pediatric dose or a geriatric dose. You're not going to feel it. You're not going to get a warm, fuzzy feeling from it. You probably won't even know it when you take it. Your body is just not going to feel it. The only thing that your body is going to feel from now on, if you do feel it, you're going to feel a slight sensation along the lines of and I'm going to use this analogy. I'd like to have a piece of chocolate, or I'd like to have some ice cream, or I'd like to have a cup of coffee. You'll get those kind of nudges, but it won't be for a cup of coffee or a piece of ice cream or some chocolate. It's going to be, I'd like to have that last little micro dose of Xanax. It would just take this very, very, very minor edge off, because you'll feel a little something, but it's not full-blown withdrawal. And to tell you the truth, if you stop right now and never took another tablet, you would live. You probably wouldn't feel comfortable, but you would live, and you would not go into bad withdrawals. But what we're doing with this taper is we are avoiding withdrawal altogether, to the point where you stop taking it and you don't notice that you're not even taking it anymore. When you wake up and when you go to bed, you're just going to go, what do I need that shit for anymore? So let's say you wake up in the morning on the ninth cycle and you've already got your pills split up. You're going to take that microdose of 0.0625 in the morning. You keep your doses with you, go to work all day long. You just don't think about it. You go work out, you go walk, you ride a bicycle, you get on the treadmill, you lift weights, and you just don't think about it. And when it comes to mind, you think, I kind of feel a little something. You got one or two choices. Either you can prolong gratification, which is a good thing because you're still giving your body more and more time to excrete this drug. Because the half-life of Xanax, the average is 11 hours, but it can be anywhere from 6.3 to 26.9 hours. So let's say you took it in the morning at 8 o'clock, and it's 8 p.m. and you haven't felt anything. Maybe at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock you feel a little bit something. Let's say you just try to go to bed without it, and you end up sleeping 4 hours, and you wake up and you go, I think I need it. Well, that's been 16 hours since you took it. You almost totally excreted everything that you already had in your system out. But go ahead and take it. It's not a big deal. Go ahead and take it. Then when you wake up, don't take it again. Try to go as long as you can without taking it. And until you come to the point where I just feel like I would feel so much better if I just took this little tiny little piece, these few little grains of Xanax, I would feel better. Go ahead and take it. And then wait as long as you can the next time before you cross that bridge again. And what you're doing is by putting more and more time and more distance between that last teeny weeny microdose that you had, you're giving your body the opportunity to excrete all the benzodiazepine metabolites out of your system by urination. And you think about it, you've been on it for a couple of days now. Maybe you've only taken 1 or 2, maybe 3 tablets over a 72-hour period. All you have in your system right now is just a very minute trace of it. So what you want to keep doing is just keep putting it off until you get to a point where you're like, damn, I forgot to take it. It's been 3 days since I took a little microdose of Xanax. Keep it on hand. Keep it in your drug cabinet. And then forget about it. Totally forget about it. You may end up going 5 or 6 days. And if you go 5 days without another microdose of 0.0625 milligrams, you're done. That's the end of the program. If you can go a week without it, my advice to you is to take what little you have left. If you have no willpower, flush it down the toilet. If you've got willpower, hold on to it. Me personally, here's what happened to me. On the day that I started my microdose, I started it on a Monday. I didn't take another dose till Wednesday, which was about 48, maybe 60 hours later. And then about 72 hours later, I kind of felt that little nudge and say, I'd just like to have that last little tiny piece. It wasn't uncomfortable. I wasn't sweating. I wasn't freaking out or anything else like that. I was just thinking, if I think that this would end it right here. Went ahead and I took that last little tiny pinch, last little grain. I took it. That was it. That was the end of it. That was September of 2017. Nothing, folks. I sleep great. And while I'm on this topic of sleep, before I get to that, please drink plenty of water, especially when you're on the last cycle. Like I said, your body excretes this primarily through urine, the metabolites. So if you drink plenty of water and you stay fairly hydrated, you're not keeping concentrated, whatever you want to call it in your system. You're excreting it through urine and you're getting it out. It's really important to do that. Exercise will help as well to sweat it out. But as far as sleep goes, I take melatonin. I usually take about 10 milligrams a night. I just switched to a melatonin, 1 mil equals 10, and it's a dropper, and you just squirt it in your mouth. Something else that I take for sleep is Benadryl. And I've been doing this practically all my life. Benadryl, 2 tablets of 25 milligrams, helps me to go to sleep, and I sleep 9 to 10 hours a night. If I get tired of Benadryl, I'll switch to its cousin, which is Dramamine. Dramamine is almost the same thing as Benadryl, except it comes in 50 milligram tablets, and you can take 2 tablets, which equals 100 milligrams. Take that with some melatonin, and it's like bye-bye birdie. You're going to sleep. But just remember, don't get fixated on your medication. Try to incorporate exercise. Get on the treadmill. If you've been to the gym and lifted weights, you know how good that feels. It's a form of distraction therapy. It helps you to stay, helps your mind to stay active, and it helps you to stay fixated off your pills. I'll tell you, one of the things that used to drive me insane when I was addicted to opioids and to benzos was I'd been through that circus of where you run out of medicine early, and then you go tell your doctor, well, I'm out of medicine, and he may cover you one time, and then the next time you go see him, I'm not writing it. Then you may get in a pinch, and you may run to the emergency room, and they're like, we're not touching that either. Everywhere you go, no, you get the hand. And I'd always have this fear of that. What would I do if I didn't have any more Xanax right now, or Klonopin, or Ativan, or oxycodone? What if everybody just cut me off and I didn't have any, and I'm still addicted? I thought I would go crazy. And so it was that fear. I used that fear to help me get off these medications. Because I can promise you, you can tell yourself all you want to, you got an anxiety disorder, and you may have one, but I promise you, your anxiety disorder, you can deal with that on a bicycle, walking around a track, running, or going to a gym. I have watched numerous YouTube videos of people who had chronic depression, chronic anxiety, chronic insomnia, who went to the gym fat, overweight, and you watch their YouTube video and they're cut, and they're like, thank you, depression, thank you, anxiety, because you put me in the gym, and now I'm dealing with my problem the way it needs to be dealt with. And I'm telling you, the majority of anxiety and depression, all this stuff, it can be dealt with in a gym in a constructive way instead of relying on big pharma. That's just a money maker, and it's something to keep you addicted and keep you to visit your doctor. You can get off this stuff. I was on it for years, and I was told I need to take it for the rest of my life. And once again, I call bullshit. Go to the gym, work out, ride your bicycle, go for a walk, drink plenty of water, follow the protocol, go see your doctor. He'll write you the prescription you need, and then 45 days from now, I want you to come back to the channel and say, gee, Doug, I really appreciate that advice. I'm no longer addicted. Because you know what? I got 2 videos out about tramadol right now, and there's a few haters out there saying it can't be done, but they didn't try it. But everybody that's tried it has been sending me emails, and I've been getting emails a lot in the past month, though those videos have been out for a year or 2 now. They're just now starting to catch on, and people are like, thank you for putting that video out. I'm off opioids, and I've been opioids, an addict for 20 years. I did your tramadol taper, and it worked. And there's a lot of people say it won't work. I don't want to watch the video. It's bullshit. It ain't going to work. I promise you, you're going to be titrating from this Xanax so slowly and in such a minute amount that it gives your body and your mind a chance to adapt, instead of putting you in a state of free fall and panic and fixation on your next dose. All I ask that you do is give it a shot. Go see your doctor and let him hook you up with the protocol. That's the end of the show. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, and God bless, and may you get off dope.